This past week, I went out to lunch with my uncle, and because I was hungry, we went to an Italian place that served unending pasta for lunch. And so we get there, and the hostess seats us pretty quickly. We get our order in, he has a sandwich, I have a blended pasta, we get our drink, we get our salad, and then shortly afterwards, I get my first bowl of spaghetti, he gets a sandwich, and then we're abandoned. The lady didn't come back for at least a half hour. And so here I am, I'm starved. I just ate the first bowl really quickly. And so then we talked to the hostess, can you send our waitress back? And that doesn't work. Eventually we get to the manager. I say, we got to see the manager. And when the manager comes over, I have various options. I could ask for our money back. Well, that doesn't feed me. I could get angry and yell and scream. Again, that doesn't do anything. And so I focus on what I really need. I really need another big bowl of pasta and some bread and a refill of my water. And so she does that. And I don't know what happened to the waitress. I don't know what, still to this day, whether she died or quit or whatever. Who knows? But I'm thinking of that because the manager had to come in and take over the waitress' responsibilities. Had to go there and do it herself. Much like what God is doing in the first reading in the prophet Ezekiel. Ezekiel, right before this passage, is taking to task all those shepherds. And bottom line, sum it all up. They're shepherding all for their own aggrandizement and glory. What can I get out of being a shepherd? They're feeding themselves rather than the sheep. And so after a while, God's disgusted and say, fine, you'll no longer be my shepherds. I myself will be the shepherd for the sheep. I myself will pasture them rightly. The Lord indeed is my shepherd. I shall not want. And so he does that in the first reading, but then in the gospel reading, we see him take the totally opposite tack. Instead, he makes himself one of the sheep. And he judges how well he gets shepherded by what happens to him. You know, and the righteous are the ones who do the corporal works of mercy. I was hungry, thirsty, stranger, naked, all the rest. But then the other ones, they didn't do anything. I mean, it would be one thing to say, okay, well, they hit them, they tricked them, and they pushed them off, or they defrauded them, or did some sort of nefarious thing. They didn't do that. They did nothing. And that's the point. They did nothing. When I said about we did the configure in the beginning, for my sins, the sins I did and those I failed to do. And then indeed, it's easier to point out a fault that's actually done. I mean, if I slap you, well, obviously I had to do something. I had to slap you. You would feel it. You would respond to it. I mean, it's pretty blatant if I do something. But if I do nothing, it's easy just to forget. Easy to not see. Easy to continue on with my life doing nothing. And still are condemned. Depart from me, for you cursed into the fire, prepared for the demon and his angels, because you did nothing. Maybe they did nothing because the shepherds were corrupt, like theirs in Ezekiel. So, because the people are corrupt, I won't do anything. Get me out of here. This whole institution is bad. Maybe it's like the other, 2 weeks ago we talked about the wise and foolish bridesmaids. 5 of them saying, well, I'm fine. Just let the wise ones take care of it. Give us some of your oil, rather than providing oil ourselves. Someone else will take care of the poor. Someone else will take care of the needy. Someone else will do it. I don't need to. Or maybe it's like last week, where they take the town and bury it. Well, I don't feel like I can do this. And so I won't even try. The people who are condemned are those who do nothing. But we are all called to do something. We are all called to be shepherds by our baptism. When we are baptized, we became priest, prophet, and king, just like Jesus Christ. We share in that ministry of him. We share in our dignity as a son or daughter of Christ. And each of us are given someone or something to shepherd. Maybe it's like a parish, like I'm a shepherd, I go and do a shepherd. But maybe it's a family that you shepherd. Maybe it's grandchildren. Maybe it's some sort of good work or outreach that you're in charge of. Each of us, in large and small ways, are shepherds to our own community and to our own flock. Then we have the prophet saying that we are all called to announce God's words, to do his corporal works of mercy, teach the ignorant, console the sorrowful. You know, oftentimes those things happen immediately, and we just rely on the Holy Spirit for what to say. Someone comes up to us and says some tragedy just happened to them. Well, we're still there to be that shepherd, to offer those words of consolation. And then finally, we're to be the priest. Priests offer sacrifice. And I was thinking of that as the persons who are saying that I was hungry, you gave me food, I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. All these things cost, especially now with inflation. But it all costs us, because then I have less for myself as I give to another. But it is in that we are fulfilling our role as shepherds. Jesus Christ has asked us to be shepherds. And in a way, to be like the people in the gospel reading who are reaching out to our brothers and sisters and shepherding them rightly. May we be aware of the people and the things we fail to do, so that we might not be condemned